RUF, RUD, RU, RUL, MU. You hear these terms everywhere. What do they mean? And if you do know, what's the best? So let's say RUF. So basically RUF basically means an algorithm. You're telling the R, the U, and the F layers, or the right, up, and the front. So this is an example of an RUF algorithm. Same for RUD, so this is the right, the up, and the down. This will be an RUD algorithm. This will be an RUL algorithm, because I'm telling the R, U, and L layer. This would be an RU algorithm, because I'm telling the R and the U layer. And this could be an MU algorithm, because I'm turning the M and U layer. And anytime I say R in this video, or right, you could mirror it to its left. So if I say RUF, you can also say LUF. So something like this. So yeah. But which cubes or which events do these cubes suit better? For a start, normal 3x3, it doesn't really matter what kind of algorithms you use for each RUF or RUD or whatever. It really doesn't matter. But there are some other variant of 3x3, like different puzzles, that maybe switching your algorithm will actually be beneficial. Firstly, let's talk about solving the cube one-handed. So actually, I'm going to use this cube because I like this cube better for one-handed. So, how you would usually hold a cube when you're solving one-handed is you either go like this, your right hand or your left hand. I'll use my left hand for this. You put your thumb about here in your middle here, and then you can use this finger to do R, or I use my pinky to do this, and then you have this finger that can do any U moves. So for one-handed, R and U moves are the best because you can do algorithms like this U perm. I should use something else there. Because usually you're turning two layers. Now you might say, why isn't R and D? And R and D, it's just not. It's practically the same but rotated, but it's not used as much. So actually, you can say the same for L and U. So if you use your right hand, you could go like this, and do same thing. Now, RUF algorithms are not going to be great because if I do try to do a J perm here, so now the F move here, we need to do this. Now there's a few ways to do this. Maybe you could lift your thumb off and go something like this. But I guess that's pretty awkward to do, and it's not very good. So F moves are not very good. Keep in mind, I'm not a one-handed expert. Someone could probably correct me on that. But I'm sure F moves on one-handed are not very good. So RU is good. That's called 2gen. But RUD and RUL are actually equally as good as each other. So RUD, and actually, if you think about it, RUD and RUL are actually the same thing. If I rotate here and do RUD algorithm, but I'm actually going to rotate back, you can see I'm actually rotating the RU and L layers. So RUD and RU are practically the same. Now, how does this relate to one-handed? So if I start doing, I don't know, random moves, then I can actually rotate like this, which is actually not that hard to rotate. It's a pretty easy rotation. This is the Z-axis. You can actually do rotations here to do D moves easily. And the same can be said rotating this way to do L moves easily. So rotating in one hand is not that big of a deal, especially when you're doing Z rotations. You can go this because it's pretty easy, and X rotations are pretty hard because you have to like regrip it. Also, you might be thinking M and U moves are horrible because it's hard to do M moves. You're probably going to do something like that. Well, if you're allowed to use the table, and if you go like this, there you go, kind of did it. I'm not that good, but RU solvers are actually pretty capable of doing this. Now let's talk about 2x2. So for this, RU, RUF are pretty good on this. Now, M and U is impossible because there is no middle layer. And RUF algorithms are pretty good because, I mean, they usually have good finger tricks, and this is a 2x2, so it's pretty smaller. But RUL algorithms, I'll try one. They're not too bad. But RUD algorithms are probably where it just doesn't work. Let me show you how. How you normally do RUD algorithms on a 3x3 is put your thumb here and your middle finger back here. And then your right hand can do any right moves. And then with these fingers, so this fourth finger and second finger, they can do up and down moves in either direction. So here's an E perm. And sometimes you can see this finger doesn't up move, but yeah, that's kind of natural. So that's how you do it. Now this grip is critical. So how do I grip an RUD algorithm on a 2x2? Well, you could say you go like this, but if I go like this, and I try to turn this layer, my finger is in the way, so I have to move this out of the way, which is a small regrip. But now I need to do D, and if I do this, it's going to be awkward. So you have to do this kind of stuff. If you don't believe me, get a 2x2 and try an RUD algorithm like an E perm or an A perm. I bet you not, it's going to be hard. And one more thing for RUD, you can do U and D at the same time. So yeah. Let's talk about a cube with below average corner cutting. I mean, this one's alright, the Cheese LW. It's a pretty good, I guess, budget cube. So if you want first cube, maybe consider this one, or maybe a little magic. I haven't tried that, but with what I've got, I can say I could definitely recommend. Anyway, this cube doesn't really have good corner cutting. So what algorithms are the best to do? RUF algorithms are not too bad. You just turn slowly. So they're not that bad, and RU algorithms are pretty good as well. They're 2 gen, that's what's called. When you turn 2 layers, that's 2 gen. And then 3 layers is 3 gen. But what about RUD algorithms? You can see I'm kind of locking up. Now why is this? Now if a cube doesn't have good corner cutting, it's reverse corner cutting. It's not that great. This can only do half. Well, that happens. So, okay, let's say we're doing M and U algorithms. Now, sometimes I can do them great, but as you can see, I'm locking up a lot. Now, we're going to talk about this for MU and RUD. RUL is not that bad as well. So why is that? So, let's say if you were doing an algorithm, you just overshot the bar so slightly and you tried to do an M move. As you can see, there is regular corner cutting, which is here, but then there's reverse corner cutting, which is happening here. So M and U moves are essentially not as good on cubes that don't corner cut. Now you can just turn slowly, or another way to put it is not aggressively like this. I mean, sometimes I can do it. That could be just because I'm turning accurately, and if you turn accurately, then you don't need a cube with corner cutting. And then RUD algorithms are pretty much the same if you think about it. When you're doing U and D moves, they're basically, the middle slice is kind of the one that's moving like this. Let's talk about big cubes. So RUF algorithms are the best, or RU algorithms are the best on big cubes, because the finger tricks are not too hard to do it. Now what about RUD? So RUD algorithms are not as good on big cubes. It's kind of the same reason for 2x2 as is for big cubes, but like the opposite way. So remember the grip? Like this is almost perfect, actually, perfect grip. And that allows me to do U and D perfectly. Perfect. But for something like 4x4, So 4x4 is actually not that hard, because if you hold it like this and you just make sure that these two lines are, you just hold both these two layers, then it's not going to be too bad. As long as it has okay corner cutting, then you'll be able to do RUD diagrams not too hard on 4x4. Like that. But for 5x5, if you try to do an RUD grip like this, you have to hold at least the middle layer and have to touch these two layers as well. So it would look something like this. I have to touch this layer. So it would look something like this. It'll be very awkward because your thumb is probably going to move. And it's not going to be very fun. If I wasn't said to, and especially if you're doing like reverse D push like this, and the D layer is only one layer. It's only one layer, so it's going to be harder to make sure you've hit that layer. And the same kind of goes for M moves. So for 4x4, it's not too hard, because if you hit these two layers, you're going to hit them. But for 5x5, it's not. I mean, you can do it if you aim. If you don't do something like this, like you'll do on the 3x3. If you don't do M2 flicks, then you can do it. Like something like this. So something like this. But if you have an M move, which just means going down, I do not use this. I use just the RU perms when I go like this. I don't do stuff like this, because that's just harder to do for 5x5 and bigger cubes. So let's see some examples of when I would change my algorithms. So for U perms on 3x3, I do an MU algorithm. And for 5x5, for big cubes, I use an RU algorithm. And actually, some people use this for 3x3 as well, but I use this one. For the V perm on 3x3, I would do something like this, an RUD algorithm, something like this. But for 5x5, I do an algorithm that actually has a rotation, something like this. Oh goodness, that was a lot of talking. So, if you have any statements or just anything you want to say, you want to add on, just leave it in the comments below, and see you next time.